There's something really magnetic about independent horror, isn't there?
Totally. They often just pop up, driven by pure ideas.
Exactly. And, what really changes things for an indie film? Buzz. Just a little bit of buzz.
Oh, yeah. Word of mouth is huge.
It's incredible, almost like magic sometimes. Good festival reviews, people talking, it can make a small film massive.
Like the Terrifier movies.
Right. Remember all those stories? People supposedly fainting, getting sick. That buzz turned it into this, well, phenomenon.
Definitely an indie success story.
So today, we're diving into a film that kind of rode that same wave. A Japanese horror film, Best Wishes to All.
Ah, yes. Directed by Yuta Shimotsu. It's on Shudder now, right?
That's the one. And it landed with some serious hype. It won Scariest Feature at Overlook Film Festival. And David Fear at Rolling Stone, he went big, calling it the best Japanese horror movie in decades. High praise.
Wow. Decades. Yeah, see, that kind of intense buzz. It's tricky, isn't it? Well, it's fantastic for getting eyes on the film, obviously.
Yeah.
But it can also be, a real double-edged sword.
Setting the bar maybe too high.
Exactly. It creates these expectations that are just almost impossible for any film to actually meet.
Right.
And it sounds like Best Wishes to All, unfortunately, might have bumped up against that problem.
Yeah.
Which makes it a really interesting case study, actually, about film, about hype, about what we bring to a movie versus what's actually there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That double-edged sword thing is exactly what we want to explore. So our mission today, for you listening, is to dig into why there was so much hype for Best Wishes to All.
Okay.
We'll unpack the premise, which is pretty unique and disturbing. Look at its allegorical side. And then, tackle why maybe it didn't quite hit those sky-high notes for everyone.
Despite the buzz.
Despite the buzz.
Yeah.
But also why it's still very much worth watching. And maybe get us all thinking about how much our expectations color, well, everything we watch.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, let's unpack this film then. Best Wishes to All puts you in this situation. Starts weird, gets disturbing fast.
Yeah.
We follow this young nursing student, Koto Furukawa plays her. She goes out to the countryside to visit her grandparents.
Arifuku Masashi and Inuyama Yoshiko.
Right. And pretty much straight away, she clocks some really unsettling behavior from them.
Off kilter. Yeah.
Yeah, at first you think, okay, maybe this is just extreme eccentricity or like a really strange kind of senility.
You're trying to rationalize it.
Totally.
Yeah.
But then comes the real shocker. She finds a man in their house.
The man.
With his eyes, mouth, and ears sewn shut.
It's a horrific image.
Just visually. Yeah, it's rough. But what's truly messed up is her grandparents. The whole town. They act like it's totally normal.
Business as usual.
They literally tell her, oh yeah, he's responsible for our happiness. Like it's obvious.
And they almost scold her for not getting it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, sweetie, that's just how the world works. And when the rest of her family shows up, nope. She's the only one freaking out about this sewn-up guy in the corner.
Which isolates her completely.
It's intense. What do you think that specific visual, the sewn-up man, really gets at? What's it saying?
Well, that image, it's the core of the allegory, isn't it? It's incredibly blunt.
Yeah.
The film seems to be saying, pretty chillingly, that happiness isn't just scarce. It's zero-sum. Meaning for one person or this family to be happy, someone else has to actively suffer profoundly. Like happiness is this finite thing they're draining from him.
Wow.
It's taking that that modern anxiety we sometimes feel, that our comfort, our convenience might depend on someone else's exploitation somewhere else.
Like, someone making our phones or packing boxes.
Exactly. Someone on the other side of the world or even in the Amazon warehouse down the street.
Yeah.
The film just makes that totally literal and visceral.
Puts it right in the living room.
Right in the living room. It forces you to confront the hidden cost, the sacrifice behind someone else's peaceful life. It really asks, who's paying for our happiness?
That's powerful.
And it wraps this idea in a specifically Japanese context, too, which adds another layer.
How so?
It definitely taps into those tensions between tradition and modernity. And the huge pressure sometimes felt around caring for the elderly family duty.
Ah, okay.
In some cultures, that responsibility for older generations is immense, almost sacred. But how does that fit with modern life, individual desires, economic pressures?
So the film kind of makes that internal conflict external and horrifying.
Precisely. It gives it this really chilling, unsettling form.
Okay, so the premise is wild, the allegory is deep, but the execution, how does the movie actually feel to watch? Where does it work best?
The first half is strong.
It gets this really queasy almost darkly funny vibe from the grandparents' weirdness.
Yeah, like when they just stare blankly, mouths open.
Yes. Or that bit where they make her stick her fingers in their eyes. It's just deeply odd.
Uncanny is the word.
Totally. The uncanny oddness in the first half is super effective. Makes your skin crawl.
It really does.
But then people say it kind of loses steam later on once the big secret is out.
Yeah, that seems to be a common reaction once the game is given away, as you put it.
That uncanny feeling. Apparently it shifts more towards outright surrealism.
It does get much more surreal in the second half, yeah. As she's grappling with this reality and seems like trapped there.
And does that maybe muddy the waters? Does the allegory get lost a bit when it goes full surreal? Or is that just where Shimotsu needed to take it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? For some, that shift maybe makes the central idea less clear, less impactful. It becomes less grounded.
Right.
For others, maybe it's a necessary dive into the psychological horror of her situation. But it definitely feels like a shift.
Interesting. And what about the scary factor? It won Scariest Feature.
Right, the award. Which is funny because, honestly, I wouldn't call it scary in the typical horror sense.
No jump scares?
Not really, no. It's not aiming for those quick jolts. It's much more about building this slow, heavy, almost suffocating sense of dread.
Okay.
And then it punctuates that dread with these moments of really uncomfortable laughter because the situation is just so bizarre.
So it unsettles rather than terrifies.
Exactly. It wants to get under your skin, make you deeply uncomfortable, make you think rather than just scream.
Which might explain that feeling of mismatch some people had. They hear Scariest Feature and expect one thing.
And they get something quite different, something more cerebral, more dread-focused. It highlights that gap between expectation, fueled by hype and awards, and the filmmaker's actual goal.
That makes sense. So if it wasn't chasing typical scares, why do you think it snagged that Scariest award at Overlook? What kind of scary did resonate?
Good question. Maybe it was the type of fear, the psychological weight of it, the sheer disturbing nature of the core concept.
Could be, because even if it didn't, live up to all that best J-horror in decades talk.
It was a very high bar.
It definitely doesn't sound like a waste of anyone's time. It sounds like something you should see.
Oh, I agree.
You mentioned it's beautifully shot, well-directed, the acting's strong, especially the grandparents.
Yes, Orifuku Masashi and Inuyama Yoshiko are fantastic. They nail that uncanny tone perfectly. They make those early scenes work so well.
And even if the second half is divisive?
The technical craft is still there. And it's lean, too. What is it, 84 minutes?
Yeah, just under an hour and a half. Released January 12, 2024. Yuta Shimotsu directing, Rumi Kikuta involved in writing.
Chigako Nakabayashi produced. It's a well-made piece. And honestly, it's much more thematically rich than a lot of horror out there.
For sure.
It absolutely sparks conversations about tradition, family, society, cost, all that stuff we talked about.
Yeah, it sounds like even if you don't end up loving it, you'll definitely have something to say about it afterward.
Exactly. And that counts for a lot, I think. It sticks with you.
And just to remind everyone, it's a horror thriller streaming on Shudder.
Yep. Worth checking out if this discussion piqued your interest.
So let's bring it back to where we started. The hype.
Mm-hmm.
It can be amazing for an indie film, right? Launch careers, get attention that money just can't buy.
Absolutely. A total game changer sometimes.
But, and it's a big but, it can backfire just as much as it helps if the film doesn't quite match those massive expectations.
Making even a good film feel like a letdown.
Yeah. And that feels like kind of the story with Best Wishes Toll.
Yeah.
It is worthwhile. It is well made. There's a lot there.
Definitely.
But maybe it just couldn't quite shoulder the weight of being called the best in decades right out of the gate.
It's a tough spot for any film to be in.
So maybe this leaves us with a final thought for you listening. Imagine Best Wishes to Us All just appeared on Shudder one day. No festival buzz, no huge reviews, nothing.
Just dropped cold.
Right. Would we see it differently? Would our experience be changed? How much does all that external stuff, the hype, the reviews, the awards, actually shape how we feel about the art itself?
That's a great question. How much is expectation versus the thing itself?
Something to chew on next time you queue up that movie everyone's been raving about.
Food for thought.